been amazing. I mean, a lot of things that I didn't even think would ever be possible for me have happened all in a year. So it's been really overwhelming in a wonderful way.
You never wanted to be, you never like woke up one day and you said you wanted to be in acting. It just sort of happened.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about, because most people don't know the fact that you just went to New York and was it a whim?
Yeah, it was just a spring break because New York is very close to Louisville, Kentucky, where I'm from. For all of you from Louisville. Thanks for making the trip. So my mother and I just went for spring break, and I had never really thought of acting just because it was never really a possibility. Now looking back, we can know that I was an actress since birth. I was, dressing up in different outfits and thought I would introduce myself as Lucille Ball. So now it's starting to make sense, but no, I didn't really discover it until I was 14, and some man asked if he could take my picture, and I was like, yeah, sure. And then he called and said that all of these agencies wanted to meet us, and we were like, well, I don't have anything better to do in New York. So we got in the car, and from our hotel to the modeling agency, I decided that I didn't want to be a model, that I was only going to be an actress, and that I would only sign with an agency that would let me act. And so I was turning down these modeling agencies, and my mom thought I was an idiot, and she also told me that but she told me all the agencies were lying because I just wanted my money. And then we didn't sign with anybody, and we went back to Kentucky, and I just begged every day just to let me try and just have a chance.
Yeah, but you said your mom thought you were an idiot, but they totally supported you.
Well, they were supportive. They weren't at first. My parents would have never let me go out to New York, but my two older brothers called them and said, you traveled all over the country with us for the World Series and for baseball and football and basketball, and this is her baseball night. Support her. So they were kind of forced to at that point.
But you had been acting. I mean, I've read a little bit about you. I mean, the news, but I've read that you've done a lot of theater before. No, you didn't.
I'm so sorry.
No, you didn't do.
It's not true.
You didn't do musicals in high school.
No, I didn't do any of that stuff. I think I did church stuff. I was in the choir at church. So when I was 9, I had a feather boa and was singing church choirs. But no, I didn't do anything. I'm going to start coming up with stuff because this is so awkward. Yes, I was Juliet, and I was amazing.
I don't need to.
Sorry.
So let's start.
It's so hard to get comfortable and look good in front of 2 other people. I just want to take my pants off.
Let's try to
I'm not going to
forget.
take my pants off.
No, and let's try to forget that there is people up
Yeah.
here. Let's just.
And you try to forget about that comment.
But let's go back to after in New York City you had the styling agent. But I mean, you started taking it seriously, and it became a career.
Yeah. Well, I tried for a little bit, and I got little jobs, and I think that the time that my mother spent with me when we were in New York, it was the first time I was ever good at anything. Really, I wasn't that great in school. I mean, I was fine. I got A's and B's, but I felt dumb every day. And then we had to do sports in our family. That was a rule, and I never really liked sports, and it was just, I couldn't find that thing, which is normal for a 14-year-old, but then when you find it, you find something that you actually, I felt like it was the only thing I had ever known that I understood. And I just didn't want to let go of that. And I think that my mom saw the same thing and didn't really want to send me back to school where I wasn't very happy. She saw how happy I was living in a rat-infested apartment by myself, just auditioning.
And I just find it amazing that you persevered and you continue auditioning, but you never wanted to act, I mean, study acting? You just, there
I
was no...
didn't, well, we went to one, well, because my parents weren't gonna pay for classes, they were like, if you wanna be an actor, we're not gonna pay for your lessons. So that was the main reason that I didn't have that. That was the only reason. I'm not against them by any means. I think if you can afford them, go for it.
Now, no, there's no need to apologize. Now, you got a TV show, and you got cast in things, and then you were cast in the Poker House, right? And that was, it was the Burning Plane or the Poker House?
The Poker House was my first.
And what was it about the poker? I mean, it's such a challenging role for somebody so young. How did it feel about that experience about doing the Poker House?
It was amazing, but it was at the same time, it was kind of terrifying because it was my first real job, my first real movie, and I loved it so much, and I loved being at work every day, and I loved the director telling me to do something and then doing it, but there was, at the same time, there was this fear because I hadn't done lessons or I hadn't done classes where I didn't actually know what I was doing. So when we would cut and move on, and she'd be like, good, great job. I'd be like, I don't know what I did. So then that scared me when we wrapped because I was like, well, I might be a one-trick pony. And maybe I did everything that she liked, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that again.
And we'll watch a clip later on from the Poker House, and it's the opposite of everything you're saying. I mean, it's such a, I mean, the camera's in love with you. There are so many scenes where you're acting without a script. I mean, you're not saying anything. You know, there's so much performance in it. It's pretty amazing. Let's talk about the most recent, you know, your second Oscar nomination, Tiffany. You audition and you work hard to get this part. Why? What was it about Tiffany that called for you to play it?
I loved what she taught Bradley's character, Pat. I thought that it taught me when I was reading the script. I love how she tells him that you're not always going to be able to fix yourself, but just like yourself and just accepting certain things about yourself. And I loved that. And I loved her strength and her weaknesses, but her strength is accepting her weaknesses. And I've always wanted to work with David O. Russell, but there was just something about her. I think it's probably the same reason, hopefully, audiences fall in love with her.
You know, it's been documented that, you know, you did this Skype audition. You fought for this role. I just admire the fact that you had the balls to do this Skype audition, you know, to get the part.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I had never done that before, but I heard David O. Russell, and I was like, yes, I want it, and I read the script, I fell in love with it. And he's one of the most brilliant, yes, he's the most brilliant director, but a writer. He's an unbelievable writer, and so they didn't want to hire me because I was too young, and he was only going to meet with me on Skype. So I was like, well, I guess I'm going to have to learn Skype.
And you said that, you know, you were too young for the part, and you still went for it. I mean, you were not afraid that you were going to be rejected. You were still.
No, I felt I had to fight for Winter's Bone as well. There's something about, I don't know, when it's the right one, you gotta fight for it, I guess. Sorry. Just sorry.
It's still.
I'm sweating so much.
If it makes you feel better, Jennifer,
Are you sweating too?
I'm also sweating
Okay.
too. I'm as nervous as you
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll calm down. These things like 2 hours. I have a second hour.
I'm as nervous and as excited as you.
Okay.
I mean, let's take a break just to calm ourselves down, and then we'll watch a clip from Silver Linings Playbook and Hunger Games as we come.
Calm me down.
Yes. So Dana, roll.
All right, let's start something. Start at that corner.